Following contest is scheduled for one fall.
We are set for perhaps the most physically imposing athlete to ever step foot in Premier Championship Wrestling. He's over 6 feet 4 inches tall, 265 pounds. He's been the talk of the wrestling world for the past 2 weeks, ever since he appeared via vignette on All Elite Wrestling's All Out pay-per-view. Wardlow is AEW bound on TNT this fall, but Wardlow has said he's not leaving Premier with unfinished business. He was brought back by Sonny Vice to destroy Andrew Palace, to give Sonny Vice a silver platter to take Andrew Palace's spot from him, and it's hard to argue Wardlow's ability to get the job done. Tonight's his chance.
Well, Wardlow is a giant stick of dynamite compounded into a 6'5" monster. And if he's in Sonny Vice's corner, Sonny Vice is just going to come up wins.
Well, it's Vice in Wardlow's corner tonight as we see the opposition for the first time in 2 months. Last time we saw Andrew Palace, he was laid out by Sonny Vice and Wardlow, the all-day-long driver, the steel chair, and Palace making a beeline for Sonny Vice. Palace has not forgotten about Vice wrapping that steel chair around Palace's skull last spring.
Well, certainly bitter memories in the mind of Andrew Palace. We've seen what Sonny Vice did to him. Did you know that Calvin Couture pinned Andrew Palace? Just want to throw that out.
I heard that, and I know Palace hadn't forgotten about Calvin or Ashton or Sonny Vice, but right now Wardlow is that roadblock standing in his way from all of those people.
Well, you know, it's hard to talk about the long list of people that don't like Andrew Palace, but the biggest one right now faces him across the ring, and that's the most dangerous one you got to pay attention to. I know Andrew Palace has emotion. He wants to get to Sonny Vice, but if you don't pay attention to Wardlow, you will live to regret it.
Well, we are underway. That's absolutely right. Wardlow only needs the smallest of openings, the littlest of distractions to capitalize on. Physically speaking, Vice right away grabbing the foot of Palace and wasted no time to see how this is going to go. Sonny Vice involving himself. And wait a minute.
Hey, shut him up. Shut up. I don't need any distractions. I don't want any distractions. Go to the back.
Wardlow just asked Vice to go to the locker room.
Well, I mean, far be it for me to question Wardlow, but you know what? I'm not going to question Wardlow. Never mind.
It looks like Wardlow wants to do this thing on his own. This is pride. This is man on man. This is Wardlow and Palace testing each other to see who's the best. I think Palace is into that decision. I know Wardlow's into that decision. And it's time to hook it up. Two of the best to do it in Premier Championship Wrestling. And I'll tell you what, we saw Wardlow as a major force in our first year in Turner's Hall. He left the company for 2 years, but he has not been sitting on a couch eating potato chips. He's been winning championships throughout the tri-state area. Wardlow, an amateur background before he ever set foot in the pro ranks, and we see great back-and-forth wrestling between these two men.
You know, a lot of say that people say that the amateur wrestling world prepares you for the physical toll that the professional wrestling world takes on you. That's why you see some of the most successful professionals in the world have that amateur background, know how to take it to the mat. And that's what you have with Wardlow. Oh, let's not forget that he's a powerhouse in that ring.
Alice and Wardlow exchanging peck bounces a moment ago. There's no doubt that Wardlow's in the better shape as far as musculature, size, power, strength. But Palace certainly with speed and endurance as well. Can't navigate Wardlow. Can Palace go behind? Clothesline, ducked, head scissors by Palace Wardlow. A cartwheel to roll with the momentum. He rises to his feet unfazed.
Palace made a little bit of a mistake there. Celebrated a tad too early. Palace seems to be impressed, if not a little bit confused.
And Wardlow almost daring Palace to meet him shot for shot here. Pride is very big. Bragging rights are big here. Palace wants to send a message to Sonny Vice. Wardlow wants to finish the job before moving on in his career.
Imagine what this would mean for Andrew Palace. We talked earlier about how Sonny Vice can put on his resume that he defeated the
Amazing agility by Wardlow to nip back up.
the one and only facade. Imagine what that would mean for Palace.
Oh, without a doubt.
Palace could use a
Palace
victory.
a Hurricane Rana.
Palace has been a little worse for wear lately here at Premier.
Series of drop kicks. Palace feeling it right now. And Wardlow just caught Palace in midair. Palace's body was still in motion, trying to elbow free. And there you see the strength of Wardlow. Do you think Wardlow may serve to regret the decision of kicking out Sonny Vice?
Well, certainly it helps if you have a Sonny Vice at ringside to coach you on and offer support.
I'll tilt the world slam.
But I will say, Wardlow's a guy that creates his own momentum. He creates his own opportunity. It's Wardlow's world. He pretty much creates anything that he wants. You know, the moniker that he's the only man in professional wrestling with war in his name is for a reason.
He brings war anywhere he goes, and Palace certainly feels like he's in the middle of a war at this point in time. Can Wardlow end the legacy of Andrew Palace, Premier's first champion? He was on Premier's first event in Turner's Hall. He was on Premier's first event to begin with, our pilot back in 2015. But now, he must feel like a pilot with the height he's getting launched in the air with by Wardlow. Rapid fire suplexes now midsection first on the top rope.
You just look at Wardlow. Everything he does comes off effortless. And that's frustrating for an opponent. I wonder if Ashton Day is writing a song about Wardlow right now.
Well, maybe he can sell the rights to TNT. I don't know. Wardlow pressing the advantage, smothering Palace with offense. And notice the speed of Palace. Could have been a powerbomb attempt. Jawbreaker nicely done. The Spazmanian Devil is at his best when he's hitting at you from all directions. Over here on the Enziguri. And Wardlow. In one felt swoop, one perpetual motion, ends with the overhead German suplex. Wardlow on top. 2 count only. You don't realize how quick and agile Wardlow is until you see him in action.
Absolutely. And he's like a tiger. If he gets his paws on you, you don't run away. You don't use your speed because he has that speed. You don't use your power. He has that power. I don't know if Andrew Palace is a religious man, but he may want to pray to any deities that he can find when Wardlow gets his hands on.
Wardlow pressing the advantage, the aggressor here, but Palace looking to find a way to break the grip on Wardlow. He does that. Wardlow for the ride, tip up, incredible agility, and that back with a savant kick. Palace out of the way, Wardlow shoulder first to the post. Shotgun drop kick. And the big man, the only thing keeping up, maybe the ring, but Wardlow explodes.
I was going to say you almost have to have Wardlow take himself out to rope-a-dope if you can survive that, but
Wardlow is not your stereotypical musclehead. Wardlow, he's not dumb. He doesn't tire quickly. He doesn't have a weakness. I've followed this man's career for the past 4 to 5 years. I haven't found a weakness on him yet.
well, it's not a body that's just built for cosmetic purposes. It's built for action. It's built for what he's in there right now doing to Andrew Palace.
Set for the ride again. And Wardlow can physically manhandle anybody's in the ring with. We saw his win against Cisco Silver a month ago. Palace is goozled.
You know, a lot of guys have first and second gear. Wardlow has third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's almost unfair.
And Palace trying to create some distance here. Palace look at DDT. Got the twisting DDT on Wardlow. This could be Palace's chance.
I will say, as much as I may disagree with Palace, if there is a guy that can defeat Wardlow, that can pull off what many would say would be the upset, it might be Andrew Palace.
Well, Palace has to get to his feet to make something happen. Wardlow's been dazed. Palace has bought time, but you see the big man stirring as Palace willing himself to his feet. We have fans cheering for Palace, fans cheering for Wardlow. It is a polarizing atmosphere here in historic Turner's Hall. He's hammering away, back fist countered. Wardlow going powerbomb again. And Palace, oh, you can see Palace shift the weight. Come back with a Hurricane Rana. Palace finding a way out of the power of Wardlow, and Palace keeping things moving, keeping the pace fast. Clothesline to the back of the head. Palace could do this. And his steam, Spasmanian Devil. Oh, Wardlow sidesteps the foot. Low bridge, big man to the floor.
But he landed on his feet.
He did, but he may not be there for long. Andrew Palace suicide dive. And notice Palace wastes no time, pushes Wardlow straight back in the ring.
Now, maybe it wasn't a smart move by Wardlow to get rid of Sonny Vice.
Palace the knees! Majestic! He's got him, no! Oh, what a near fall that was. Palace looking to find a formula to beat Wardlow. Palace drills Wardlow down face first. 2 count only. Wardlow has never been beaten in this building, Ben. That includes his return. That includes his initial time here in 2016 and 17.
Well, you can't find a lot of buildings that Wardlow has been defeated in. And the people that have defeated Wardlow in a building normally don't walk right the next day. They don't survive that tall tale that they want to tell.
What's Palace doing? Palace looked like he was setting Wardlow up for a powerbomb. We'll never get there. The knee strike connects. And now Wardlow absolutely drills Palace. This'll do it. Wardlow makes Sonny Vice proud. No.
I was going to say that was a mistake where Andrew Palace going to powerbomb Wardlow, a position that Wardlow may not be very familiar with.
Is Wardlow showing signs of frustration?
Well, that's the way you defeat the big man. Get him frustrated, get him off his game, make him start to doubt himself.
If Wardlow wins here, where does Palace go from here? Well, Wardlow's going for a kill shot. Measures Palace. And Palace underneath the arm of that lariat. Palace going hernia driver. Wardlow counters. And Palace drilled with a spine buster. Everything Wardlow does is so impactful, so intense. All day long driver of Palace, elbows free. That would have done it if Wardlow had hit it. And a high angle back suplex by Palace.
But look at Wardlow, he's still staggering, he's still trying to get to his feet, he's up.
Yeah, Wardlow is only one direction, straight forward. The knee to Wardlow. Hernia driver, second attempt. Will this be enough? Oh, Palace got it. Palace got Wardlow, but it's not enough. Wardlow kicks out. Wardlow may be more machine than man, and Palace is stunned that his best offense was not enough to do the job.
That is Palace off his game. Palace looking to go up top, not a position we see Palace in all that often. But when you're going against Wardlow, you got to pull out everything you can, and, well, you can't take your time.
Wardlow cuts Palace off with the pass. Wardlow's had been put in situations I can guarantee he's not used to, like the hernia driver, like an opponent still standing this late in the match. And Palace is struggling here. Wardlow's got to superplex Palace straight to hell, and Palace fighting for everything he's got.
Palace better do whatever he can because it's not a advantageous position if you're Andrew Palace.
Wardlow, with Palace goozled, just drove the head of Palace straight into the knee of Wardlow. Palace is practically convulsing as Wardlow gets that clothesline in. Oh, from even deeper than hell. That'll do it. Now Palace kicks out again.
So I think we can officially say Wardlow is off his game right now. He thought it was it. For the sake of referee Tom Dunn.
Wardlow is pacing. Wardlow is irate that there's still life in Andrew Palace.
He almost takes kickouts as a sign of disrespect.
Oh, here it goes. Wardlow. All day long, but he couldn't get it. Palace the roll up again for 2. And Wardlow continues to get angrier and angrier. Made a mistake in the corner. Palace capitalizes. Hurling a driver. Traps him. Andrew Palace beat Wardlow. Andrew Palace has slayed the beast and has defeated Sonny Vice's hand-selected Hitman.
And I'll tell you, I don't know if Andrew Palace would have got to 4 or to 3.5 or to 3.25, but he got to 3. That's the important thing. And I don't know if you want to call it an upset. I don't know if you want to call this a shot in the arm to Andrew Palace's career, but you asked me, where does Andrew Palace go if he loses? I ask you, now that Andrew Palace has defeated the Beast, where does he go from here?
I think Palace can go anywhere he wants to, and I know where he wants to, and that's one-on-one with Sonny Vice. Wait a second. Great respect shown by Wardlow and Palace for one another. 2 warriors who fought their hearts out here at Anniversary. Wardlow has a big next chapter ahead, but Andrew Palace stands tall, showing he is certainly one of the most prolific and enigmatic stars Premier has ever seen. And Wardlow, one final lap in his hometown as a free agent. What a war this has been between Andrew Palace and Wardlow, but only step 1 on Andrew Palace's mission.
Well, step 1 of that mission up next, if he has his way, will be Sonny Vice. Andrew Palace has a long way to go, but certainly well on his way.
And check out that endorsement. Wardlow knows he's been in there with the best. And tonight, the better man was indeed Andrew Palace.